Hi team, Coach Alexa here. Another video linking into the series that I'm doing on mindfulness at the moment, and this is more to explain why mindfulness can be a really useful tool. So I'm going to chat through today a model that explains 3 different modes that our brain can be in. And this is at any time, so it's applicable to sport, life and relationships and work and all sorts. So the 3 modes are called drive, threat and soothe. So let me talk them through just at a very high level, one at a time. So the drive system is what motivates us. So, going back thousands of years, it would have motivated us to get up in the morning, to find food, to find water, to make sure we had shelter, to look after our families, to keep ourselves and those that were close to us safe. These days, where for many of us around the world, but sadly not everybody, those basic needs are met. So that drive system for those of us who are sort of safe and as in safe and happy places is driving us more to perhaps be really good at our job, or to provide for our families. Or I guess in some cases kind of buy the next new car, or to be good at what we do, to volunteer and to give back to the community, or in sports performance to run a longer distance, or to improve our time, or to have particular health goals that we've got in mind. So it's very much the sort of motivational system. And when we are lucky enough to be sort of safe and happy generally, and have our basic needs met, it's more used for a kind of betterment of our lives in some way, our lives and the lives of those closest to us. So using that drive system in a race situation, having really kind of positive reasons for running that come from within us, from a kind of motivated place, or for supporting others, raising money for a charity that means a lot to you, for example, or setting a great example for friends or children, that can become a really strong way to use that drive system for sports performance. The next one I'm going to talk about is the threat system. So again, going back a few thousand years, threat system is what would have been scanning for danger the whole time. If there's a strange noise or a crack of a stick in the woods where you're happening to sort of be sleeping out that night, that's the system that will hear it, that will spot it, that will get the heart rate going, that will be ready to react. So it's tuned into our fight, flight or freeze response. And it's very automatic. When we engage that threat mode, we're not necessarily thinking before we react. So again, in kind of modern day life, it might be somebody cutting you up in the car and you get a little bit of that anger and maybe make a rude gesture. It might be, somebody says something really unhelpful or nasty to you at work in front of other people and it embarrasses you and you get really upset or anxious or angry. It's when that sort of safety system is triggered almost. That threat scanning system has found a threat, it's identified, and you're kind of primed to react to it somehow. So, perhaps again thinking about a race situation with pre-race nerves, maybe the anxiety, the adrenaline, cortisol levels are quite high, which is the hormones related to that threat system. Maybe we might be thinking about what could go wrong and, how we haven't done all our training but actually that doesn't put us in a great state for performance, having those stress hormones high. So learning how to sort of calm ourselves a little bit, firstly recognise that we're in that threat system or the drive system, and change, enable to sort of change what state we're in slightly, can be really useful. And this kind of segues quite nicely onto the third system. So this one's called Soothe. So this is about calming ourselves down, looking after ourselves, self-care, and just being able to have some calm downtime. So it's interesting because when, again, going back a few thousand years, where I've talked about these examples of, looking after ourselves, meeting our basic needs, if we're fed, we're watered, we're safe, we're comfortable, we're surrounded by family, maybe around the campfire, we've got all the food that we need, the threat system has done its job, keeping us safe, the drive system has done its job, collecting all of those things and getting us into a comfortable position for the evening. And then we wouldn't have anything to do, right? we would just be sat chatting with our friends, maybe, I don't know, a bit of music around the fire. You know, we'd just be relaxing and being with ourselves and with those that we cared about. So I think we miss out on a lot of this soothe system time these days. We're kind of constantly go, 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 go. So the drive system dominates a lot, and it doesn't give us time to you know, slip into this soothe system, which is so useful for things like post-training recovery, mental health, quality of sleep. And it also gives us a set of tools when we kind of notice whether we've been in drive or in threat for quite a lot of the time through the day. That soothe system can provide a really, really good balance. We need all three to work together. So that's a little bit of an overview. I'll be continuing kind of talking about this mindfulness topic, because mindfulness is a way that we can get ourselves into soothe. And it's also a way where we can notice with practice when we've been maybe in drive for too long, when we need to step out of it a little bit, or maybe when we've strayed into threat. So yeah, as always, let me know any questions, thoughts, feedback, and stay tuned for the next few videos in the series.